Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Warmly welcome to all of you, whoever will be watching this video. And I hope it is going to be very much beneficial for all of you, especially for the people who want to work for Saudi Aramco, especially as a work permit receiver. And the moment you complete your third-party certification and training from any institute approved by Saudi Aramco, after that, only one more step, the important one, the final one, to achieve Saudi Aramco exam. So I hope this presentation with 50 questions will be very much beneficial for all of you. So let's start with that. But before that, I would appreciate if you can subscribe your channel, the Training Zone, and click the bell icon, same like as usual we request to everyone, because this channel is just made for supporting and helping our community, to make our simple goal is to make you successful, inshallah. And the moment we're gonna lift you up and we're gonna try to make you successful, our success would be guaranteed by dear Allah, inshallah. Okay, so let's start. Thank you very much. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's a Saudi Aramco work permit receiver test. Let's start with question number 1. The question, itself have a deep meaning, which you truly need to understand before even you jump for the options to get in. When to close the permit, what your logic says, what your common sense says, or what your experience and safety clearly mentioning, when we need to close the permit. So of course, the permit, the logic says the permit will be closed the moment the job is done, the project is completed, right? Now you can go and look into the options, and you will go with option number 3, like if work is completed. So that is the correct answer. But what I mean is, before even you look into the options, why don't you ask your brain, since you guys already achieved third-party training and certification. So why don't you ask first of all to yourself before even you look into the options, right? And I'm sure your mind will be giving you the right answer, and then later on you can select that option from the 4 options, inshallah. Now question number 2 is all about permit shall be closed by whom. Of course, there are authorized work permit receivers and authorized Saudi Aramco authorized work permit issuers, right? Whoever is allocated from Saudi Aramco side. So both parties, issuers and receivers who sign that permit, kind of a legal document, both have to close, from their side, actually, the issuer and the receiver. So the right answer is issuer and receiver. The same way, the question number 3, issuer observe unsafe acts being conducted on the area, he will. What are you going to do? If issuer, like if Saudi Aramco observe, or Saudi Electricity, or anywhere, because all customers have their own PTW system, permit to work system. So whenever they're gonna see any sort of unsafe condition or unsafe act, what we gonna do, like, so call the receiver and stop the work. So issue, the customer will call to the work permit receiver, the authorized one, and he will definitely stop the work. No, the receivers are allowed to stop the work. Yes, they are allowed. Even on the other side, sometimes I say we have to empower all our employees. We have to make them empowered to stop the work whenever they believe there is a kind of unsafe condition or any abnormal situation, in other words, or any unsafe act is being happened. They are authorized to stop, actually. But mostly our employees, they don't realize that kind of ownership or empowerment, because that is the authority even of every employee. Whenever he observe, any kind of unsafe act or condition, he must be bold enough to stop, actually. Otherwise, at least to inform to the immediate supervisor. But here, the question is, the receivers are allowed to stop the work? Yes. If everyone is allowed to stop the work whenever there is an unsafe act or condition, so why not the receivers, right? But when you are going to stop the work, surely there must be some technical and logical reason. It's not like just to show your dominance, you simply, or you are the approved work permit receiver, so you have authority to stop. No. Later on, technically, logically, you have to prove why you stopped at work, because stopping the work means every minute is a cost. That is why sometimes people don't like safety professionals, because if we are stopping their activities just without any technical reason or any solid reason or against safety regulations, of course, it would be hard for us to justify our position into that company, right? Now, question number 5 is what must be written on the permit if the issuer stop the work? All option 1 is all involved person and their badge number, of course, reasons for stopping the work and time it was stopped, and other important information, all of the above. So the right answer is all of the above. Now, number 6 is who's responsible for safety at the work after permit has been extended? The issuer and receiver who signed the extension. What is one hazard with doing the hard work? Ignition source, simple. Don't look into even other 3 options. Just bear in mind whenever the word is hot work and they're talking about one hazard, that is all about ignition source, and it could be because of any sort of activity, or belong to any process even. Now, what are the 3 types of gases we take, record and take? Oxygen, flammable, and toxic materials. Okay, so what are the 3 types of gases we take, record and take? Oxygen, flammable gas, toxic materials. Okay, what is oxygen deficiency? A lower than normal amount of oxygen. Like normal amount is 20% as per Saudi Aramco regulations, and the maximum is 23.5%. So in between is kind of a normal. If it is above than 23.5%, that means enrichment, which is another hazard. And by the way, more terrible hazard because more chances of explosion and fire could be there. So below 20% as per Saudi Aramco regulations is the oxygen deficiency would be considered. So we can't work without SCABA, we can't work without proper taking additional permissions even. What must a fire watch be? At least he must be trained. When is fire watch needed? Question number 11. Whenever a fire could occur, whenever there is a chance of fire to be occurred, we need fire watcher. Equipment is isolated. Question number 12 is there. Equipment is isolated to ensure it cannot be started up, leak, or cause electric shock, because it is relevant to the equipment. So we truly need to make sure it cannot be started up, because you have done the isolation, and you must also verify that the isolation is done 100% with accuracy, and then make sure you try, you check, you just validate that there isn't any chance of a startup or even leaking or any chance of electric shock circuit or even causing electric shock on the other way. The question number 13, flammable liquids, oil, grease, alcohol, gases are examples of class B fire. So class A, class B, class C, you all understand, mashallah, I hope. So class B is relevant to flammable liquids, oil, grease, alcohol, gases are examples. Now, what type of fire extinguisher is typically used for class A? Of course, water, because paper, cardboard, some kind of such type of fire is there. So water can be used. Question number 15, what does the issuer usually check before he issues or release a permit? Wind direction, drainage, and ignition source. At least these 3 important points he must be verifying here. Now, question number 16, what are hazards of welding inside confined space? It's all of the above, like fire, explosion, and asphyxiation. Of course, all are hazards associated with welding inside the confined space, because confined space, we all know, a place which is not designed for human occupancy and have limited access and enter, and of course, possible, different toxic gases could be there, a lot of hazards, and one of the hazard may be lack of oxygen or maybe enrichment of oxygen. Now, fire is composed of heat, dash, oxygen, and chain. So fire triangle. No need to look into the options even. I mean, first you need to ask the answer from your brain, then go with the options. If your brain is not giving you the, I would say, the 100% accurate answer, or there is a doubtful answer, then go for the options to see. Fire is composed of heat, fuel, oxygen, and of course, there would be a chain reaction mandatory. Now, question number 18, is it still allowed to work on an area with a reading of 10 ppm of H2S? Yes, as long as SCB is provided and countersigned by the area superintendent. It is all depend on the superintendent if it is allowing, and signing it up. But as per Saudi Aramco GIs, of course, up to 10 ppm, they are allowed to work, but SCABA is required. 10 or above, we need SCABA for sure. Now, what is oxygen enrichment? Too much oxygen. That means above than 23.5% as per Saudi Aramco, or even as per OSHA, the USA regulations. Question number 20, if you need to perform internal cleaning using brush and cloth inside welder, because the activity is only cleaning, internal cleaning with brush and cloth. So no chance of ignition source. So you can go for cold work and confined space permits, Now, do you need a work permit here? Yes. Do you need a work permit here? Yes. Look at the picture, These we call high hazardous areas or restricted areas or the danger zones or the line of fires. We should never cross. So if you truly want to work within that line of fire, of course, we need the work permit. So do you need a work permit here? No, because it's kind of an office building. So yeah, is this a restricted area? Look at any refinery or oil rig sites or GOSP like GOSP, like gas oil separation plants, or any hazardous pipelines, all are considered restricted areas. Even the panel rooms, even any sensitive area can be allocated as a restricted area, especially when you are talking about and working within oil and gas industry, the high hazardous industry, of course. Now, do you need a work permit here? Of course, the person is it's a confined space, so we need the work permit. Do you need a work permit here? Of course, yes. Even in the panel room area, yes, we need. Is this a restricted area? Yes, correct. Do you need a work permit here? Of course, we require. Do you need a work permit here? Yes, it's a workshop, so we need. Is this a restricted area? Yes, of course, it's a restricted area. Is this a restricted area? Of course, it's a panel room area, so restricted area. Eye injury can be the result of or ventilation, wearing eye protection, both A and B. No. Removing machine guards. Eye injuries can be the result of removing machine guards. So damaged portable electric tools would be removed from service and tag do not use. Any damaged portable electric tools must be removed. We have to remove them from service and tag do not use and put them in isolated area, the quarantine area, or a kind of a hold area, or maybe do not touch kind of that area also you can allocate that nobody is allowed to use these faulty tools. 33, common welding hazards you could be exposed to includes electric shock and radiation. Quite straightforward. Common welding hazards you could be exposed to includes electric shock and radiation. What is the best type of fire extinguisher for combustible metals? Of course, it's the personal protective equipment like PPs is the last line of defense, not the first line, not the best, not the only, the last line of defense against any unexpected hazard. Now, 36 question number, reference of work permit system is given under GI 2.100. One of the main joint responsibility of an issuer and receiver is verify number of manpower working. One of the main joint responsibility of an issuer and receiver is to verify number of manpower working. That is why time to time, no harm to check CSE log sheet, the entry log sheet. under standby man. So we can double check and see how many are working inside even that particular time, because everybody who is ever going inside is writing his name, batch number, time in, time out. So easily we can calculate how many people are there, but make sure no wrong entry or no missing entry couldn't be there. Now, when are equipment checked and inspected by issuer? During joint site inspection, quite straightforward. Two things an issuer does before issuing a permit: checks permit receiver certificate and get signatures. Number 40, reason we use a workman restricted area to know the hazards and precautions needed in the area. So that is the right answer. Non-flammable gas usually used for purging. Non-flammable gas usually used for purging. Non-flammable gas usually used for purging. But for purging, normally we use nitrogen. So might be, I still need to double check why the nitrate is click here. But anyhow, for purging, nitrate or nitrogen. So maybe I'll put in the comment in somewhere. But as per the theories of Saudi Aramco, for purging process, we use nitrogen. Now, what would be a good example of when the receiver must stop work? Upon hearing the emergency alarm, of course, the receiver have to stop the work. Is water appropriate to use in extinguisher class C fire? No, it's not acceptable. The reason why equipment must be de-energized and depressurized before start of works. So, because we don't want to see anybody to be injured, right? Or to be killed or died, God forbid, because of sudden startup or so people can be injured. So the correct option. 45, question number, when can a receiver leave the job site? When issuer gives him permission. Now, two common methods of cleaning process: water washing and steaming. And for purging, we use nitrogen. 4 simple steps in applying LOTO or lock. Number 1, then we tag, then we clear and try. One of the process for equipment preparation is clean and purge. 48 number question was there. 49, the second last question of today's presentation: means of isolation except de-energize, de-energizing and bleeding. Means of isolation except de-energizing, bleeding. Rest all are isolation methods like install blinds, remove pipes, close and chain walls, but de-energizing and bleeding is not kind of isolation. Now, last question of today's presentation, which we're going to help for your Saudi Aramco exam, inshallah. Is it best to apply dash to prevent unauthorized personnel for accidentally starting, restarting of equipment? Only one lock, one key. This is the best, It is best to apply one lock, one key to prevent unauthorized person from accidentally starting, restarting of it. So your lock, your key, you are the one putting your lock, you are the one going to remove your lock. You need to keep secure your key. You can't even give to someone, please open my lock as well. Even that is not acceptable. So bear in mind this lockout, tagout and isolation for this particular procedure. We don't trust on anyone. Saudi Aramco will not trust on the contractors, and contractors, to be very honest, should never trust on Saudi Aramco that they have done everything. All isolation and lockout tagout is done. You must be verifying by yourself also, because your life, your safety is also your prime responsibility. So I hope it will be really beneficial for Saudi Aramco exam, but bear in mind the third party, the moment you pass third party examination for work permit receiver and you achieved 80% marks and you got the certificate, you are quite ready to achieve the next challenge, inshallah, to go for Saudi Aramco work permit receiver exam, inshallah. So wish you very good luck. I hope these 50 questions will be very much beneficial for Saudi Aramco WPR test. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.